webinar today is on the patient portal. It's more of a training, so we are going to go a little bit slower through this. If you do have any questions, please let us know, and we will be happy to answer those. You can just get a hold of our support team, and we will answer any questions that you have. So just kind of give you an outline. We're going to go through what the patient will log into, how they're going to log in, what they're able to do on the patient portal, and then we're going to flip back over to the practice side of it, what your office needs to do to maintain this portal and kind of keep up with it, make sure you're responding to those patient requests. Okay. The first thing to keep in mind as we're going through this is anything the patient is doing on the patient portal is simply a data request. They are sending a request to your office asking for, an appointment or for you to update their address, but it is just that. It is not automatically being saved into your database. They do not have access to your system. They do not have access to your office schedule or anything like that. So just kind of keep that in mind as we go through this. All right, so as far as the patient portal goes, from your website, whatever has been set up, you guys have a link for the patient to click on for their patient portal, okay? Once the patient clicks on that link, it's going to take them to this login screen, okay? Now on this login screen, instead of Management Plus and Physician Group, of course it's going to be your logo, your office information, so it's more of a seamless transition for your patients. And of course it's not going to say, demo patient portal, but it will have your office information. This screen is standard. It is set. It cannot be customized at all. It will just have, welcome to your office name, patient portal. So the patient sees that similarity between the two. All right? The patient's going to need to log in. So how do they get that information? In Management Plus, on that patient's account, in the center on the right side, there's an area that says Web Portal User. The system is going to assign the username for you. It's the same format for every patient. It's up to the first 4 letters of the patient's last name, followed by a dash, and then their patient ID. You don't have to worry about creating that. Like I said, the system is gonna do the work for you on this username. Just below that, we have the Web Portal password box. The patient can tell you what password they want, or your office can decide on a generic password to use for everyone, and then the patient will be able to change that password, and I'll show you where that's done. For now, we have this password in here. If you happen to have the patient's email address, you can, and your system is set up with a default email, you can click the Send Invitation button, and it's going to pull up this email that is kind of prefabricated, pulls the patient's email address, invitation to use the patient portal, and then of course, welcome to Physician Group Patient Portal. Here's a link to access it, and then here is your username and your password. And of course, your office phone number will pull from the contact information. So if you do have a default email set up, you can just send that patient an invitation. Other offices that I've talked to are going to create kind of a set of instructions that can be printed out that has that patient's username and password on a Word document. You will have to write it in at this time, but we have sent it as a request to development to have that be available as a form letter option. So we could just create a form letter in practice management and print that out and have it sent to the patient that way. So how you choose to let your patients know about the patient portal and instructions to log in is really up to you, okay? So we would send this patient information via email, or you can just write it on a card or give it to them or whatever you choose. So we have our username and password. We're going to come back over here to the patient portal, and we are going to go ahead and get logged in. Okay, there's our username and the password. Now, the password is case sensitive, so if you type it in uppercase, you need to tell the patient to type it uppercase. The username is not. If you remember on my account, it shows it in all caps, but when I actually go to log into the patient portal, I can put it in lowercase. All right, we click OK, and we are logged into the patient portal. Now, we're going to go through each of these sections on the left side of the screen. The first thing up at the top where we have Management Plus logo and Physician Group LLC, this is a customizable area, so your office logo and name can be entered here. If you have not already changed that, get a hold of our support team and let us know, and we can kind of guide you in the right direction, but at this point it should already be set up. So the screen that we're looking at, all of this information is the home screen. Okay, when we click on this little home icon, that's the screen that we're looking at. Now, this is a customizable HTML file. So again, this should have already been explained, but if you're not sure and you need to change it still, get a hold of support and we can help you, kind of direct you in the right location to change this information. It is just an HTML text file. You can add an image of your physicians, your office, your staff if you'd like. It's not required. And then your website information also is on here. Okay? Patient can't really do anything on this screen. It's just informational. All right? So the next section is appointments on the left side. The patient will have the ability to request an appointment. One thing about all of these tabs down the left side, each of these sections can be turned on or off. If there's something that you don't want your patient to be able to do, certainly we can turn that off for you. It is an all or nothing function, so we can't turn pieces of the appointment section off. It's either off or it's on. All right? So we're going to go into appointments, and the first thing the patient's going to see is all of their future appointments that have been scheduled. They will be able to, see the date, the time, the doctor that they're seeing, the location, and then the procedure. Now, at this point, again, it's just a data request, but the patient can send a request to cancel the appointment simply by clicking cancel. It's going to take them back to the home screen, but that request has been sent. And then just so you know, we have sent an enhancement request to development so that when the patient clicks on one of these functions, it pops up and gives them a message that says, thank you, your request has been sent to your office, someone will contact you. Something to that effect, some sort of acknowledgement to the patient, but at this time it will just take them back to the home screen, okay? It does not automatically cancel their appointment, it's just a request to cancel. The same thing with the reschedule button. If I needed to reschedule this, I can click reschedule. It's going to take me out to a new page. Addressed to the patient, please choose an office location, at least one date and time, and enter the reason for the visit. Our office staff will use this information to reschedule the appointment for you. Okay, so it carried over the physician and the location. If I needed to go to the Magna office instead of the main office, I could change that at this time. And then when do I want to reschedule this for? So it was scheduled, my appointment was scheduled for July 17th. I want to come in sooner on Friday, July 11th. I can choose that date. I can also say any time is good, or I prefer morning or afternoon, whichever is appropriate. I have up to 3 choices, okay? So the only one that is required is the first one. The reason for the visit also carried over, but if the patient wanted to add additional information, they could. All right? Once they click OK, that request will be sent to the office, to your patient portal work list, and then it takes them again back to the home screen. And like I mentioned a minute ago, we have asked for some sort of pop-up acknowledgement, thank you for your request sort of thing. All right? So back in appointments, again, here's our future appointments. Up at the top, I can view my previous appointments. Here's all of my appointment history. I can flip back to future appointments. And then I can also request a new appointment. So if I had nothing scheduled, I can click on Request Appointment. going to ask me to choose a physician. What location do I want to come into? And again, I can choose, I want to come in today, anytime, and then, left eye is red and painful, all right? Whatever the case is. They have to put in a reason, and it tells them that all of the required fields are marked with an asterisk, okay? So we're going to click all right, click OK. It's going to take us back to the home screen, and that request has been sent to the office, and the patient's going to wait to hear from you. Those are the only functions the patient is able to do in the appointment. As far as the date and time, this is just a running 45-day calendar, if you will. It is set to match your work week. So if your work week is set Monday through Friday, those are the days the patient should see. They do not have access to your actual schedule. They cannot just pick a time and put themselves in it. They do have to wait to hear back from you. All right? So that is the appointment section. And like I said before, if you have any questions on that, get a hold of support and let us know. The next piece is medical records. Now, the medical record is going to show any published visits that your office, your physicians or your technicians have marked as a published record, okay? So I'm going to flip over to the patient's account for just a moment, okay, and we're going to go into their EHR. Now, in the EHR tab, your office is made aware of the published records by this third row. There's this little blue icon with a green arrow. That means that record has been published to the patient portal, okay? If I wanted to go in and publish a record, when I have the visit open, up in the top left corner, you're going to see the red X or a green check mark, one of the two, depending on whether or not it's published currently, okay? So as soon as we get this pulled up, we'll go in and look at that. There we go. Okay, so in the top left corner next to my name, we have a green check mark. By clicking on that check mark, it turns into a red X. The red X means it is not published. The green check mark means it is published to the patient portal, and the patient has access to their full narrative. Okay, it is the full narrative at this point. There's not a plan currently to make it a summary or alter that narrative. It is the patient's full narrative, just as if you were going to print it out from your office and hand it to them on paper. Okay, so again, we're going to save the changes on this, and we're going to unpublish that particular record. So now I only have 4 records out here. Okay, so flipping back over to the patient portal, if I click on medical records, it's going to update automatically to show that. Now, as a patient, you can click on the date. We have made them a different color, and you can also see the hand to actually click on it, where if you're over the name, it's just the normal mouse selector, okay? It's going to go ahead and open by default just in Internet Explorer, okay? So it's just going to open right up here. You can see I have 2 tabs now. The patient can print this, do whatever they need to do with it for their own sake, and by them clicking on this date, you have gotten the points for that patient going out, logging into the portal, and accessing their records electronically. Okay. Over on the right side, we have these actions. Download and view the CCD document. That's the continuation of care document, and then there's a secure send. The secure send is your physician-to-physician means of communication. We do have that integrated with Secure Exchange Solutions. That is something that you will need to be signed up for in order for the patient to be able to forward this to another physician on your behalf. If they actually click download the CCD or view the CCD, it's going to just pull up in a different format than the narrative. And it really is, let's go back, it really is just a text file, essentially, okay? Patients are probably not going to read this, but in order for us to be certified, it has to be available. Okay, so just instruct them to click on the date of the visit that they would like to see instead of that CCD document. It's going to be easier for them to read. All right? Anything that they click on, you can see it's just going to pull up that narrative. All right? So, again, you guys have full control over this as far as what you publish and what you do not publish. If you don't want their follow-up or testing visits published, don't publish them, and the patient will not see those. Okay? So, as far as the medical records, that is what the patient's able to see and do. The download XSL style sheet, you can go ahead and save this and open this just to show you. So we'll pull up. That's a bad visit to use. I would just instruct them to just click on the date to pull those up, okay? Just to reiterate, as far as the narrative goes, it is the full narrative. It is not going to be just a summary or anything else. So anything, just, if you were to print out a full narrative, that's what they're going to see online in the patient portal. Okay, this one's slightly different. There's more information in this particular visit, but of course it's easier for the patient to read this than that text file. Okay? All right, so that's the medical records. The account details is really patient demographic information. It's going to show them just what you see on the screen. At some point in future versions of the patient portal, we may add insurance and other pieces of information, but right now, this is what it is. So if I needed to change my phone number to 3333, and then my cell phone is actually 3222. I can go ahead and put an email address in just so you know when a patient adds an email address here, it is going to add it in the patient's account as a personal email type. And you'll see that in just a minute once we save this. Okay, the patient's date of birth, gender, they can come out here and put their race and ethnicity, their language, marital status, anything that they want, say American Airlines. Okay, they can fill all this information out, and once they click OK, it's going to send that request to your portal work list for you to basically approve and save into that patient's account and commit it to the database. So we click OK. Again, it takes them back to the home screen. Their information has not been changed yet because it has not been saved in the database. So keep that in mind in case you do get those calls or questions. Okay, that's the only information they can request right at this point, but again, that might change or we might add to this in the future. Okay. The next section is messages. This is essentially an email, a way for you and your office and your patient to email back and forth. It works like every other email. Okay, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. By default, the first thing we're going to see is our inbox. Okay, here's my email that I have in my inbox. Down at the bottom, this is the original email that was sent, and this is the reply from our office. Please call to schedule that appointment. At this point, if I wanted to, as a patient, I can choose to reply, and it's going to let me go in and type a response. Okay, and when I click OK, it's again going to take me back into my inbox, and I can delete this email if I'm done with it. If I go into my deleted folder, just like we all have now, here's all of the emails that have been deleted over time, and down at the bottom, for whatever you click on, it's going to show you that email chain. Okay. The sent items, you can look at all of the emails that have been sent. Okay, and again, down at the bottom, it's going to show you whichever one you have highlighted. It's going to show you that email chain down here at the bottom. Okay. The inbox, just their inbox, and then they can compose a new message. So maybe I need, an appointment for my son I need to schedule an appointment for my son. Can I bring him with me to my appointment today? Or can I make an appointment for both of us today? Okay. Once they click OK, it's going to take them back to their inbox, and then that will be in the sent folder. Here it is, appointment for my son. Okay. They're not able to email other patients. They're not able to do anything but email back and forth between you and themselves. All right. So the last section over on the left side is payments. Now, for the patient payments, when we go into this, first thing to know is you have to be using TransFirst as your credit card vendor. That is the only vendor that we have integrated with our patient portal as far as patient payments go. When I come into this, it's going to show me all of my patient balances. Currently, and this is something that we've asked them to change, and they are working on it, but currently it is only showing us all of the charges that were only ever patient responsibility. So all of my dates of service that went to my insurance first are not listed here. I just want you to be aware of that. We have asked them to change that to actually just show patient balances after it's gone to insurance, or straight patient balances that were never sent to insurance, like the tax or my glasses or whatever. Okay. When the patient comes out here, they can click Make a Payment. And again, you have to use TransFirst for this. They're going to fill out all of their billing information for their credit card, and then down at the bottom type in that credit card number. Okay. Once they click OK, it's going to authorize for whatever amount that they said they wanted to pay. They click OK, it authorizes the card, and it's going to put that amount of money in the patient's account as a prepayment. It will be up to your office, and you will be notified of their prepayment, but it is up to your office to go in and allocate that money to the appropriate charge. We don't want to allow the patients to start picking the line items that they want to pay or anything like that. So it is going to just save it as a prepayment, and then you guys will get that alert in the patient portal work list, and then you can go in and allocate that money as needed. All right. Again, once they were to click OK on this, which I don't have all of my information, it's going to take them back to the home screen. You can see right now, because I didn't fill anything out, there was an error processing your payment. Please contact our office. That charge does not go through. That is the message they're going to get, and I'm sure at that point they'll just call you. Okay? That's really the only thing they can do with payments. It's just going to save a prepayment in their account, and you guys have control over what happens with that. All right? So, over on the top right corner, I'm going to minimize the screen a little bit so we can see all of them. Okay. The first icon is a download. Okay. The download is a way, the first two, download and upload. Download is going to show the patient all of the documents that they've sent to you. The upload is for them to send a document to you. If you choose to send a document to your patient, it will also show up in this download file. So download and upload is really just a way for you and your patient to send different documents back and forth, whether it's consent forms, registration forms, referring physician, referral authorizations that they got that they're sending to you. If they can scan it or save it to their computer, they can upload it to you. All right? So what we have in here is the document that the patient sent to you or the office sent to the patient. When they click on that link, they're going to be able to open it, and it's going to give them all the information on that document. They can print it, save it, whatever they're going to do with it. If they wanted to delete it, they can just hit delete and it's gone. Okay? If they did go out and they completed all of their registration forms and they wanted to send them back to your office, they can click on the upload and then hit browse. And then we're going to go out and we're going to find this document that's a new patient questionnaire. Okay. We'll just do new patient questionnaire completed. And then when we click OK, that's going to send that back to the office, and you will see that questionnaire, the consent form, whatever it is, in your work list. You'll be able to open it, save it, and then attach it into that patient's account if that's what you need to do with it. Okay? And you can see it still shows up in our download, so the patient can keep that history of what they've sent to you. All right? So that's the download, and the upload is just a way for you guys to send documentation back and forth to each other. The third icon over is paperwork. Okay, this paperwork is a standard list that your office creates, preferably in a PDF format, so it's easier for the patient to open and download. You can use other formats, so Word documents or Excel files or whatever, but our recommendation is a PDF, because if they did not have Adobe, they can download that for free. They don't have to go out and buy a different program in order to open your documents. Okay? So this paperwork, these are loaded from Management Plus. So we're going to flip over to Management Plus for a moment. And it's under File and Integration, Management Plus Portal. And then there's a Setup menu. It follows the same format as all of our other menus in the system. Management Plus Portal Setup, we have the Portal PDF Management. Okay, so this Portal PDF Management is the list of paperwork that the patient has access to. All right, if I wanted to come in and add a new one, this is going to be our new patient questionnaire. And we're going to hit Load PDF. And on my computer, I'm going to browse to where that document is saved. Okay, here's my PDF. I click OK, and now that has been saved. If I wanted to delete another form, I can just hit Delete, and that's gone off of that list. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea of how quickly that is sent, I'm going to close out of here, and we're going to go back into our portal. And I'm going to click on the paperwork icon again to refresh it. And now here's my new patient questionnaire that we just uploaded, and that test file is gone. All right. Patient can click on any of these documents that you instruct them to print out and sign. Okay. They can come in here, print this, sign it, save it, whatever they're going to do, bring it with them or send it back to you ahead of time. Okay. Open this one. Okay, there's our questionnaire, another consent registration form. Whatever you want to put out here, you certainly can. All right. This would be a good thing to include on your instructions if you are going to create instructions for your patient to log into the patient portal. All right. One more thing is this list, of course, is a general list. Everyone will see the same list. If you did need to send individual documents to a specific patient, you'll want to use the download and upload, and I'll show you from your side how you can initiate that as well. All right. The next icon over is Contact. This contact information is another HTML file. Okay, we chose to just put an image of an office building in here. You can put pictures of your office, your staff, your doctors. You can add text to this if you'd like. And then down at the bottom, it is going to pull the office information that has been set up in Management Plus under the system properties. So to add just this text information down here at the bottom, that is done in Management Plus under File, Administration, System Properties. Okay? Under the System Properties, there is a Practice tab. Okay, this Practice tab is where all of that information is pulling from. All right? So we will want to make sure, and again, this should already be done, but if not, we'll want to make sure all of your information is in there. All right? The Practice Direct Send address. This is the practice email address that Secure Exchange Solutions has set up for that physician-to-physician secure communication. All right? So if that's something you want more information on, also let our support team know. All right, so back on the patient portal, again, this is a contact tab is an HTML file that you're able to edit. Okay, then we have a logout button. Once the patient logs out, it does log them out of the portal, and it is going to take them back to your website. Okay, if you're not sure that yours is taking your patients back to the website, or if you've seen an issue, we need to get you upgraded to at least 6.8.6 because that has been corrected. Okay. The next one over is change password. Now, I know I said at the beginning the patient is not making any changes to your database. The password is the exception to that statement. When the patient goes in to change their password, they're going to put their new password in, and it is automatically going to update in the patient's account. You will not get notification that they did change their password. Once they click OK, it's going to log them out. They will have to log back in to get back into it because they did just change their password. And that change is automatically saved really for the patient's protection and security. On the patient's account, when you look at it, the password is starred out. There's no way for you to see it. Even if you right-click, there's not a way. You would have to, if they needed to reset their password, you can just retype whatever the password is. That way nobody else can log in for this particular patient. Okay? So that is the one thing that is automatically saved in the patient's account. Now, the last icon over here says audit. Sorry. The audit is just what it sounds like. It is going to put a date and time stamp in the patient's name and show you what was done. All right? So if we come back a few minutes ago on 6/12, we started going into the patient portal. There we go. 8:47, we logged in normally. We viewed the home page. We logged out. We logged in. Every single thing the patient clicks on is saved in this audit. All right. Again, meaning, or for us to be certified, it has to be in here. Patient's not going to do anything. It's just informational. Okay. All right. So now we have all of these actions that we've sent to the office as a request. So now we're going to kind of minimize this, and we're going to go back over to the Management Plus side and see what we need to do with the work list. So, File, Integration, Management Plus Portal. This is where all of the documents, or all of the portal-related items are saved. The portal work list. When we go into this patient portal work list, it is going to show us these different columns and all of the requests that have been sent by patients. The first column is just the ID number of that particular request. So this is the 322nd request that has come into our patient portal. Okay, you don't need to worry about doing anything with that. It's there for us to keep track of these requests. Patient ID is the patient's account or patient ID number, patient's name, then the date and time. Now the system is automatically going to put these in order. Oldest will be at the top, newest at the bottom. That way, patients who have been waiting longer will be hopefully, fixed or gotten back with first. Then we have the actions. Under the actions, there are different types of actions. Okay, we're going to talk about each one, but just to kind of show you the way you can filter this out, it works just like every other grid in our system. At the top column header, you can click on this little square that has a triangle in it, and it's going to allow you to customize this view. So if you want to have your front desk staff keep track of all of the appointment and demographic related requests, you can tell them just check those, and that's all they're going to see. Maybe we want the back office to keep track of files and messages that come in. Okay, so that's all they're going to work. You can just have everybody view everything. Come on. And that will show you all requests that have come in. All right. So as we go through these, there's two ways to get into this. You can right-click and open, or you can just double-click on it and it will open that as well. So the first one we're going to talk about is canceling an appointment. When you have a request to cancel an appointment, it's going to show you the patient's name, the physician location, date, and time. One thing that is required in order for this to actually be canceled is the disposition. If you look at this list, we can click on the little search button. It shows you all of your dispositions. This is the patient canceled. Okay? It's not office canceled. It's not rescheduled. The patient is requesting to cancel this appointment. Once we click OK, it is going to remove that request because that request has now been satisfied. It's no longer in our work list. We don't need to do anything or worry about it. It's done. Okay? If we were to go pull up that patient's account, that appointment is canceled. And from the portal side, if the patient goes in, looks at their appointment, that appointment has been canceled. It's gone. Okay? So the next one we're going to look at is July 17th. So on our work list, patient sent a request to reschedule their appointment. Again, you can right-click and open or double-click on it. It's going to show you this patient, Jennifer Carmen, physician Dr. Jones at the main office, is currently scheduled for July 17th at 10:30. She wants to reschedule it. Her first preference is July 11th. Second is July 10th. So for rescheduling, you have the scheduling button down in the bottom left corner. Click on scheduling. Here's our appointment. At this point, it really is just your normal process of right-click. We're going to reschedule that appointment. It's patient rescheduled. Yes, we want to reschedule it. And the patient wants to come in. You can see this up in your background. So patient wants to come in on July 10th. Okay, patient, well, we don't have anything in the afternoon or in the morning on Friday. So, we'd probably want to just pick up the phone, call the patient, and say, we can reschedule you for Thursday the 10th at 10:30. That's our latest one. If we were to go book that appointment, gives you the option to print that appointment card if you'd like. Okay, doesn't meet my recall. And now that is rescheduled to July 10th. Patient is going to get an email, assuming you have it on file, of all of their future appointments. So when you make a change, it does email the patient. It also updates out on their patient portal, so now it is July 10th. Okay, so just it is immediately updating that information, and the patient, like I said, will get that email showing what their next appointment is. Okay. Once we click OK, it's going to mark that as a satisfied, and you can see the reschedule is gone. So it's automatically updating the list for us once we complete these. Now, the next one is schedule appointment. Okay, this same patient keeps calling. I just need to pick up the phone and call her. If I click OK, that is going to tell me this is marked as completed. If I hit cancel, then it will leave that action for me. It's not going to take it off of my list, okay? It does not automatically, if you do click OK, even if you don't schedule it, it is going to mark that as satisfied and take it off your list. So make sure if you are not going to do anything with it right now, you hit cancel, not OK, because there's not a way to get that back open. You'd have to just call the patient and talk to them about it. Okay? So our next one is patient demographics. The patient demographics is just what it sounds like. The patient sent a request on the following fields. Here's the field they want to change. Here's the current value in your database, and this is what they want the new value to be over in the right side. So if I did not want, maybe I know that this patient is not a pilot for American Airlines, I'm going to uncheck those two because I know that's false information. I can uncheck those two boxes. When I click OK, it is automatically going to update that patient's account with the new information, and it is going to mark that action as completed. All right, so we're going to go pull up this patient real quick. Okay, so here we updated the marital status, the race, language, ethnicity. However, it did not put that I'm a pilot at American Airlines because I unchecked those fields and said don't update that information. But if we look at my phone numbers, both of my phone numbers have been updated. And down at the bottom, here's the personal email that I added, jennifercarmen@mail.com. Okay, so it does automatically save those once you click OK. You don't have to manually enter that information again. Okay? All right. Let's go back in here to the work list. So the next one we have are messages. Again, with the messages, it's just like an email. You can right-click and The new message, just so you know, is to generate a new message. So if I wanted to send a new message to Susan Smith, for an appointment reminder, okay, and then please call to confirm your appointment tomorrow. Next time Susan logs in, she's going to get that email. To open these, you can right-click and open, or you can double-click on it. It shows who it's from, what the subject is. Okay, please call our office. She just said thank you. I don't need to do anything. I do not need to reply to that. So I can just close it, and then I can right-click, and I can delete that message because there is nothing to be done with that particular message. Now the next one, okay, I need to schedule an appointment for my son. Can I make an appointment for both of us today? Maybe I do need to reply to this. Please call our office so we can update your information and schedule appointments. Okay, whatever it's going to be, you click OK. It's going to send that to the patient's portal, and it's going to mark that as completed and remove it from your work list up here. If we click back over here, it's going to jump down to our messages, and here is that reply, please call our office. All right? So it is just that quick. The last one in here is the file upload. So you can double click on it, and it's going to open that document. Right now you can save it, upload it, or attach it to the patient's account, whatever you need to do with it. You can also right click and you can manage files. Okay, when you manage files, it's going to show you these documents for this particular patient, so everything the patient has sent you. Again, you can open it from here. So you have both ways that you can get into it. The difference is when you right-click and go to Manage Files, you can actually see the type of document that it is and the size of that document. If you just double-click on it, it just opens it. Okay? So there is a way to manage those files. Then you can also send a new file. So, if I needed to send this to Susan, last time it shows me I sent her a green sheet. Well, now I need to right-click. I don't need to open that green sheet. I need to add the new patient questionnaire. I need to send that to Susan. So the next time Susan logs in, she is going to see that in her downloads, and she'll be able to open that, fill it out, print it, whatever she's going to do with it. Okay? So the Manage Files is going to show you all related files for that particular patient that you right-clicked on to go into Manage Files or chose a new file. Okay? The last option is a refresh. Now the file uploads are not automatically going to delete. If you are done with them, you've saved them in the patient's account, you can just delete them. Okay? One other thing I want to show you really quick is with the appointments. When we go to request an appointment, because before we just told the patient to call us, so we're just going to say we're going to send a new request over here and come back to our portal where I can show you the scheduling side of it. We're going to refresh this. Okay, so schedule an appointment. When we double-click on the schedule an appointment, it shows the patient, the doctor, the main office, what they want for that particular appointment. It's very similar to rescheduling. You click the scheduling button, takes you into the patient appointment screen. We can right-click, make an appointment, choose the correct procedure for that particular doctor, and we're just going to choose one of these. Patient wants to come in on July 1st, so we can go out to July 1st, see what we have, and at that point I can make an appointment for that patient. Okay. Yes, we want to make it. Don't want to print the appointment card. Okay. Again, once we click OK, it marks it as completed, and when we refresh this, that appointment will go away. Now on the patient portal side, when they go into their appointments, it is updated that they do have that appointment on July 1st as well as July 10th, and they will get an email showing all of their appointments that have been scheduled for the future. Okay. question came in, will patient payments show up on this portal work list? Yes, they will. The action type is a patient payment, and it does. So you do get the notification, and then you can right-click and go in, open that prepayment, and allocate it as normal. Because I don't have the transfer set up live in production with our system, because it's a demo environment, we can't actually see that in the list. But yes, a patient payment would show up as a prepayment action, and then you can work it from there. So I do not see any other questions. As far as the portal goes, that's really all there is to it. The biggest thing is going to be making sure your patients are logging in. You have to have 5% of your patients for your reporting period log in and access the patient portal, view their electronic records, and then making sure someone in your office is managing this patient portal work list and refreshing it throughout the day to keep track of and follow up with all of the requests that are coming in. So if you guys do have any questions, let our support team know. I'm more than happy to answer those. If you saw anything that isn't quite updated on your side, let us know as well, and we will be happy to kind of point you in the right direction there. Otherwise, I appreciate your time today, and hopefully this was helpful. This will be recorded, and if you want to have other staff members show or see this, get a hold of our support team, and we can show you where that is available. So let us know if you have questions. Otherwise, you guys all have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.